high drama have a meltdown over any of the shows we saw. Well, maybe we did or didn't, but in Toby Armour's Meltdown has Elfie all hot and bothered over the television news of Trump and the upcoming election. His long-suffering wife Janice retreats to the kitchen, but her soup pot is leaking. She wants Elfie to go to the new neighbor as they have just moved in and asked to borrow a pot. But first, Elfie has to take a nap after the stress of the barrage of Trump and his lies. Next, we know he is with the neighbor, Sasha, who seems to be able to transport Elfie and her to the past, present, and future, looking for a happy ending. Along the way, we encounter past presidents, Ella Fitzgerald, and dolphins. The end result is to go out and vote. This unstructured show that Joan Kane directed turned into a fun, silly little show with a big, important message in these turbulent times. The acting and singing was terrific. Michael Roche is a great physical comedian as he ranted and raved and time traveled. Beth Griffin reminded me of Constance Schulman, but she has the most beautiful blues voice. She was a wonderful counterpart to Alfie's lunacy. Holly O'Brien as Sasha also has a great voice and gives this an optimistic tone. Deborah Kahn Bay as Ella Fitzgerald got to do some very impressive scat singing. I loved her Cat Fisher costume that matched her puppet version. Bring your friends who are on the fence about voting. Maybe this will inspire them. Happy face minus, and go out and vote. We are going to have several interviews and musical numbers from Amasa's Distant Thunder throughout the show. When you hear a small rumbling of distant thunder, it signals a chance to hear how great this musical Distant Thunder is, which is only going on until October 27th, and I'm seeing it October 14th. So the review will be on the Facebook page.
The premise is that Daryl Waters, played by Lynne Taylor-Corbett, is left the tribe as a child and escaped from the tribe and raised in the white world. He comes to the club, the Coyote Rock, on his last night. He thinks he's leaving the next day, and he wants to talk to his friend Dorothy Dark Eyes, played by Angela Gomez. And as he enters the club, he finds that she is coming up to the mic to see a song called Hold On.
When we ran through the camps, a smile on your face, you knew where to go all the time. From the shade in the stands to Medicine River, you knew. Down the road past the gym, up the hill to the school, you never let up till the end of the day. Like the moon chasing sun, I tried to catch up, but I fell. I put my hands on my hips and yelled, hold on, 'cause I'm running out of breath. Hold on, 'cause I need to take a rest. So long, you'll soon be way out of my sight. I held on to the memory that night.
You stayed behind, and yet the love of your life is back, so that must make you feel very conflicted. And that was a gorgeous song you sang. You have the most beautiful voice. I was getting teary-eyed.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful chart that my character gets to pave, because she is now, in a lot of ways, also a steward of the native traditions and the language. And so the young people of the tribe are very much her kids, and she has let life pass her by in a lot of ways in order to sacrifice for the kids of the reservation and stayed behind. She's felt it's her isoktik, which is karmic duty, and she feels extremely indebted to the tribe. And so when Daryl, her old childhood sweetheart, comes back, it shakes her whole world up. She starts to think about, have I been, squandering my potential by maintaining the traditions here and staying put? I won't spoil anything, but she goes on a really beautiful journey.
So you're torn apart.
Yeah, definitely. There's a bit of tearing that happens, but she's an incredibly strong woman and an incredibly important pillar of the community. So It's a lot of fun to play.
Oh, I can't wait to see how it ends up. I hope it's a happy ending. I do so love a happy ending.
It's a musical, so, there'll be some tears, heartbreak, and hopefully you'll leave feeling good.
And you'll also learn a lesson, too.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's the most important thing of all.
Yes.
Matilda Drotwa's Dirty Laundry is a tale of grief, guilt, betrayal, confusion, and exasperation. Me and her dad, who is a doctor, are trying to cope after the wife and mother died. Dad is hopeless at how to do laundry, which the daughter tries to explain over the phone. Another woman comes by and tries to help him figure out the laundry. The daughter has enough on her plate with her job at the New Victory and a young son. Feelings get messy, and will they be able to clean up the mess? A Greek chorus of red, blue, and green questions and comments and even interacts with the characters in compassionate, snarky, and matter-of-fact ways. Be warned, there is a moment that goes into too much detail about a decomposing body, but there was this excellent ensemble. Sasha Diamond, Yvette Garner, and Amy Jo Jackson were very entertaining in their reactions. Richard Mazer was lovable as the befuddled widower and a bit of a cad, too, we learn later. Lakeisha May is trying to hold it together, and we feel for her as she has much to work on. And speaking of which, Constance Schulman is trying to maintain a relationship that is doomed from the start, but she isn't contemptible but very human. Everybody just wants to feel a connection to ward off the loneliness and how overwhelming it is to get through life. Happy face.
Playwright and performer Stephanie Wilson's Forgive Me, Grandma, For I Have Sinned is the third play I've seen at this year's United Solo Fall Theater Festival. Portraying herself, Miss Wilson shares her story. She's made herself a perfectly planned life and is very pleased with it. Having been raised by her attentive and loving grandparents, she strives to be the best person she can be, a perfectionist, often to the demise of being able to take care of herself. When this beautiful life she created falls apart, she is presented with an opportunity of a lifetime, a cruise around the world, a journey of self-discovery. Miss Wilson's storytelling is terrific. Her enthusiasm shines, so much so, at times, her words and actions seem too rushed for me. I was thinking there may have been missed opportunities for her attentive audience to savor the moments. Of course, it may have just been me who was thinking that. Pictures are projected onto a large screen, which work well with her stories, as well as her numerous costume changes. Her costume selections are creative and meaningful. Artfully, she makes the costume changes with great ease, which keeps her stories flowing without interruption. I continue to be impressed by the quality of the solo shows available to us here in New York City, especially those produced by the United Solo Festival. This is another great one to see if you have the time, and there are 2 more chances to do so. The show is running November the 1st as well as November the 16th. And I'm giving the show a happy face minus.
And who are you?
I'm the old man. I kind of hold down the, the glue of this thing in the sense that, old man is involved and knows everybody on this reservation and the lives everybody's gone through. So
you look out for everybody.
Well, yes. I kind of like bring the reality for each character about, what's their involvement in their life and to try and help bring people together. I think that old man does a lot of that. He brings people together in this piece, the different interests, the different people that are in the play,
And do you help out those troubled teenagers?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I'm tied in with everybody in this place in one way or another. They talked in this opening piece, they talked about the medicine bundle, and I'm the carrier of that medicine bundle. And I'm looking for the person to pass it on to, and it ends up being one of the young people who take care of it and not let it go off the res. Yeah.
Gerard Alessandrini is back with his forbidden Broadway, Merrily We Stole a Song, going full throttle, running over Sondheim, Cabaret 6, and Back to the Future, which helped in the time-traveling backwards and forwards premise. Going back to where it all started in 1982 gave Mr. Alessandrini an excuse to recreate Joel Grey as the cabaret MC, to Alan Cumming, to the present day outrageous Eddie Redmayne that had me convulsing in the aisles. Gail Rankin fared no better. Old standbys like Bernadette Peters, Patti LuPone, and Barbra Streisand made appearances. This quick-changing cast of Chris Collins-Pisano, Danny Hayward, Nicole Vanessa Ortiz, and Jenny Lee Stern were able to capture all the essences of the show and performers with lightning and heightening speed. They all had amazing singing voices and range, so they could pull off all these different parodies. They even let sneak in a non-musical show that is a toast of Broadway and lent itself perfectly to a Sondheim song. You can either guess or go see this for yourself. Fred Barton, musical director piano, who's been with Forbidden Broadway from the beginning, was back at the piano, which made everything copacetic. I don't want to go into too much detail. Half the fun is a surprise of who gets skewered and with what songs. I highly recommend this, but be aware that on weekends you need a couple of hours to get there with the bad traffic and non-existent subway schedules. Major happy face.
This was supposed to open on Broadway at the Helen Hayes Theater, and then something happened and it was canceled. And then they, luckily for all of us, it was announced to be at the Theater 555. And it's, no matter where it is, it's a lot of fun. They even poke fun at it by doing a song called Forbidden Broadway, not on Broadway, because of that, which was, you know, a fun number. And I kind of worried because the original, or the groups of them that had come up in the past had amazing impressionists like Christine Petty and Christina Bianco. And I thought, where are they ever going to get the likes of them again? And they've done very well. They've got Jenny Lee Stern and Nicole Vanessa Ortiz. It's a wonderful, wonderful night out. Happy, happy face.
So the third number that we're going to present is happens at the earlier part of the show, and we were in one of the young women, teenager really, has decided that she's going to escape the reservation. She's going to run away, and she has convinced one of her friends that to go with her. And now, during this song, the two of them are trying to convince the third boy, who is, his name is Thomas, but he proclaims himself as Tonto, and they're trying to convince him to go with them. The song is called Strong Enough.
Late night, here with my friends under the big sky. Pass me a joint, I wanna feel high. None to whoever wants to stand in our way. You know that this fight can be this alley that sounds right. We'll have enough money to live right. Start a new life with new horizons in our sight. This is the time.
so troubled, and do you really think it's a solution to get away from the reservation?
Well, I think a lot of res kids, especially like when you're younger, you just see the same people every day. You see the same things. And, especially for me growing up on a res, sometimes it gets tiring. And
Is it like the Amish?
I don't really know, if I'm going to be honest with you, but I'd say that the reservation, there's only a certain amount of land and everyone knows everyone really there because it's very community based. And so you see the same people every day. You go to the same restaurants every day. There's only one restaurant really that's even open on the res, So it's like Ayanna, I feel like, has that craving of like, oh my goodness, there's nothing for me here. I want to go to the outside world, because she feels as if that she can open her horizons and just be able to do the things that she wants to do without having, distance get in the way of that. So it feels so secluded there. So she needs to open herself to new places.
James James, Good Bones, How Your Past Can Affect Your Future. Aisha and Travis, after much moving around for Aisha's community job, have landed in her hometown filled with fraught memories of her childhood growing up poor in the projects. Travis, who is a fancy chef, comes from money, which rankles Aisha at times. They just bought a big old house in the rich part of town, and Earl is their contractor who lived in the projects all his life and is happy there and takes real pride in his work and community. His sister Carmen is home from college and helps him with the painting. Aisha and Travis bond with Earl and Carmen, but all that changes when Earl learns that Aisha's job is to help the sports franchises get a new complex while tearing down an entire neighborhood, which happens to be the same neighborhood that she left and Earl and his family still live in. Will Earl be able to reconcile with Aisha after realizing she is working to destroy his community? Will he get her to see how important a community is since she never felt like she had one? This is a gripping story, as a lot of us have seen old neighborhoods disappear to make it more palatable for the upper classes. In a way, people are displaced refugees in their own neighborhood where they have lived and made memories. Earls are good while Aishas are bad. There are extraneous moments with possible ghosts that are never explained but add more nuances. Travis and her are trying to have a baby, which factors into the tensions. The acting was quite wonderful with this superlative cast, and the production values were out of this world, with dreamy lighting by Barbara Samuels, haunting sound design by Fran Shang, elaborate scenic design by Maruti Evans, and stunning costume design by Oana Boats. This is a very good and no bones about it. Happy Face.
Playwright and performer James Heinemann's What Doesn't Kill You is a solo show based on his recent life event. Just having suffered a medical emergency, Mr. Heinemann narrates his story from his hospital bed. As a middle-aged, fit, and previously healthy gym goer, this event leaves him reflecting on his life as he will now know it. As an aspiring and very much struggling actor, he had spent many days trying to get work. In his leisure time, with his husband by his side, travel was always on the books. Now, following the event, things he saw and experienced in the past are new to him. With his most impressive talent to breeze around the stage with such ease, Mr. Heinemann introduces his mesmerized audience to the people in his life. He gives each one of them an endearing nickname based on a famous actor of whom the person reminds him, while maintaining dignity and respect for each of those people. There are no costume changes, just a simple stage set of 4 chairs, a lectern, a notebook, a Sudoku book, and a bowl of grapes are his props. Nothing else is needed. It works perfectly. Projections of postcards, pictures, and paintings complement his stories. Eloquent layers of comedy and drama bring Mr. Heinemann's story to life in the most delectable way. And after opening with a confession that he is a huge Cher fan, Mr. Heinemann sings and dances many popular Cher tunes. Every moment he dollops the tunes, his joy and admiration for her offers a delightful splash of fun throughout this appropriately timed 80-minute show. This terrific show is running through October the 27th, and I highly recommend making time to see it if you are able to do so. I'm giving it a happy face plus.
And we had this interview with Ginny Len Bader, which is so interesting, but we can only show a couple minutes for this show, but we'll show more on the next show. But in the meantime, go see her show at 5090 59th Street. It's going to be fantastic.
It's called Mrs. Stern Wanders the Prussian State Library.
And what's that all about?
It is the little-known story of the arrest of the thinker Hannah Arendt, arguably the most influential political thinker of the 20th century, in 1933 Berlin. Some people know a few things about Hannah Arendt. They know that she covered the Eichmann trial and invented the term the banality of evil. They know that she coined the term totalitarianism. They know about the 30 books that she wrote, but not many people know about the story of how she was arrested on charges of political activism, basically doing research on anti-Semitic materials, which had just become outlawed. Anti-Semitic materials weren't outlawed. The researching them and disseminating them was outlawed. And the story of her arrest by Gestapo and questioning and interrogation for 1 week has really not been told, because a lot of people just didn't tell their stories after the war. And especially if they weren't as gruesome as other people's stories, they didn't tell those stories. So she told this story exactly once, as far as I can tell, in an interview. And that inspired this play.
Tina Packer's Woman of Will for Bedlam takes excerpts of several Shakespeare plays to show his understanding of women and the relationship to men and getting more power. Ella Loudon comes out in a slinky black dress created by Arthur Oliver to rattle off monologues from Taming of the Shrew, 12th Night, and others before saying them again with helpful titles to explain what emotions they are feeling this time. The Fierce Margaret, Phlegmatic Elizabeth Woodville, Murderous Lady M, Romantic Juliet, Parent-Seeking Marina, Cross-Dressing Viola are all used to prove Tina Packer's point. Ella Loudon shouts and proclaims along with Nigel Gore with all these random Shakespeare monologues and even jump cutting from one to the next. I'm afraid I'm not that fond of Shakespeare, and I was hoping that Bedlam would take their usual out-of-the-box spin on well-known works and make it surprising in a new way. I didn't get that here. The only Shakespeare I love and know by heart even is the damn Scottish play, and I always get kick out of Richard III. The portrayal of the out damn spot speech was just weird and incomprehensible to me. I can definitely attest that for other people, they will not be as bored and disappointed as I was. My friend just loved it. She admires and appreciates Shakespeare and thought this was quite brilliant how they used the various plays. So for me, it was a mix. But for my friend, she gave it a happy face, and she would also add that the show presupposes a deep and comprehensive knowledge of Shakespeare's plays that some people in the audience might not have. She liked the actors cross-dressing in 12th Night and the damn Scottish play. She thought it gave insight into the plays. So you can make up your mind whether you want to see it or not.
You know, I think because my character's a little bit more involved with the culture. So, you're raised in a very true way under your family and elders, and my character's mother isn't there. So I have an adoptive mother, and my father isn't there. He's off, doing his own thing. So there's a lot of character arcs in this where, for me, I'm also searching for something. I'm a little bit more grounded in the culture. So I have this, a war within me where I want to go with my friends, but at the same time, I remember the teachings and what, family is on the reservation. And that's the great thing that, the New York audience is going to receive when they come here. And not only a story about family and community, and that's, a universal story about a brother and a father, but also when they come to see us, we're all from different nations and different tribes in the cast. So if we get the time to talk with some of the people that come to the show, and we, hopefully we get to visit with them for a few moments, and they can learn a little bit more about who we are and kind of how, even though we're all different, we're all the same, that's what's great about this show. It's more than one layer. It's also an educational tool, like you said, for people to come learn about the Indigenous community all through America.
So here's our listings for the week until our next show, November 2nd. Special events. 92nd Street Y is back with Lyrics and Lyricists, Cockeyed Optimist, where Hammerstein found his hope, going on October 26th through 28th, and 5090 59th Theaters is doing, as Jenny Lynn Bader was talking about, Mrs. Stern wanders the Prussian State Library till November 10th, and Kristin reviewed What Doesn't Kill You till November 3rd. Kristin is reviewing a lot of stuff at the 17th Annual United Solo Theater Festival, which is going on at Theater Row now till November 17th. And for the millennials and Gen Zs, you 23 to 30-year-olds out there, you're going to love A Fairly Odd Musical, the unauthorized parody at the Theater Center. I know several kids have gone back and seen it again and again. They love it so much, including my own kid who hates theater. Closing October 27th is our favorite Queen Theater Citygate production of Frankenstein, perfect for Halloween. And Hannah Gadsby is in the East Village at Abrams Art Center doing Woof. And WP Theater's Dirty Laundry has been extended until October 27th now. Oh, and also going on until October 27th, the New Victory is back with The Princess and the Pea. So you can go see Once Upon a Mattress and then go see The Princess and the Pea at the New Victory. And closing November 2nd is Mint's Something Like Wings, written by the same person that did Oklahoma, the musical, speaking of Oscar and Hammerstein. And you can find that review on our Facebook page. And Broke Neck Girls, the murder ballad musical, is at Under St. Mark's. It's back. I love this show. And it's Eve Blackwater's Broke Neck Girls, the murder ballad musical, is an unconventional jukebox musical of traditional and original songs featuring murder ballads. I love this, so I'm going to repost it so you can see it on the Facebook page. And closing also November 2nd is The Flea is back with Fiji Mermaid. Closing November 3rd, you got Ashes and Ink at AMT with Catherine Aubee, and Franklin Land is at EST with Thomas J. Ryan. And Blue Hill Troops is back with doing the musical Cinderella from November 1st to 9th. So have a happy Halloween and see you November 2nd.